So I'm going to teach you how to make a review book, and these are basically just how to put it together and like what I did to create my review book. So what I did is I took 4 pieces of copy paper, I stacked them together, I folded them in half. Okay, so now I have a booklet that has like basically 8 pages in it. So now I'm going to show you what I did for each page. So the first page, as you see, is the cover page. I did something like that, okay? So I made my parent function. I think if you're gonna watch the video on how many problems are gonna be on the test and specifically what problems you're gonna see on the test, okay? But you can look at the other video for that. Anyway, so moving on from here, page 1 and 2, and notice I did number the pages. Number 1 is my cheat sheet. Page 2, I wrote guide to graphing, and you're going to see this is how I organized every page. I wrote steps, the example, and the work. And again, watch the other video to see what problems I chose and what steps I wrote. Okay. Then, and I always put in a box kind of what my big topic was. Page 3 and 4, I wrote vertex form and transformations. So here's like information about vertex form and basics on transformations. And then here I listed about 5 different types of transformations or equations that I wrote out, how they would move compared to the parent function. Next page is 5 and 6. So on page 5, I have factoring, the GCF. So this is all about basically we're getting into the how do you solve quadratics. I wrote steps and tips, example, and I showed my work. And then I went on to another factoring, which is if you have a trinomial, that a is equal to 0, steps, example, work. Page 7 and page 8. So it's kind of my, my center here, my center fold. I have the factoring. Again, I'm continuing with factoring. So I now have when trinomials are greater than 1. I wrote the slide and divide. That was the method. Steps, example, work. And then here I wrote solving quadratics. So this is a different way to solve. So this is not necessarily factoring anymore, but now here is square roots. So that's, again, that's a different method. We were talking about graphing in this review book and factoring. So here's the third one, square roots, the steps, example, and work on page 8. Page 9, I wrote myself a page for another way to solve, my 4th method, completing the square, steps, example, work. And again, you can put tips, you can put like when to use. And then on page 10, I wrote the last one, which was the quadratic formula, steps and tips, the example. I even put the formula there, and then I showed my work in my actual book. Then I'm going to go to word problems, because there are different types of word problems that you're going to see on the test. So you're going to see geometric applications. You are going to see consecutive integer problems. And again, steps, example, work. You are going to see, let's see, I forgot to number my pages even. Let's see, the previous page, I believe was, yeah, this is going to be 11, 12. Okay. And then on 13, you're going to have projectile motion, steps, tips, example, work, and then last but not least, quadratic regression. Steps, tips, example, and work. So it's going to be on page 14. And on the back, you could write yourself a little something like, yay, you did it. Now you're ready for the test. You know, anything else you would like to record on the back. Hope that helps. And hopefully by the end, you'll have something that looks like this. So again, it took me some time, but on the other video, you can kind of copy the stuff that I did and kind of test yourself. This is another way to review for the test, okay? So there we go. Okay, and I wrote myself, I'm gonna rock it. Good luck.